The two most important kinds of objects in a Linux server's file system are files and directories. You've been working with files already throughout this course, so files are probably nothing new. And directories are almost exactly the same as folders that you've probably seen on a Windows or Mac system. They're named containers that can hold files and can also be nested inside other directories. Every object in the file system has a name, or file name. The rules for file and directory names in Linux are pretty flexible. You can have spaces in file names, you can have dots, you can have @ signs or accent marks or whatever. The only thing you can't have is the slash character. And in the shell, when you write a file name that contains spaces or certain punctuation marks, you have to put the file name in quotes, or else precede each one of the special characters, including spaces, with the backslash. So for instance, if you had a file whose actual file name was great space file name exclamation mark, when you're talking about that file in the shell, you would write it either as great space file name exclamation mark inside single quotes, or as great backslash space file name backslash exclamation mark. This is called quoting, and this is called escaping. The reason for this is that these characters all have special meanings to the shell, and putting a backslash in front of them tells the shell to treat them as ordinary characters. Directories are nested inside each other, with the outermost, or topmost, being the file system root, or root directory. It's very common for there to be multiple disks or disk partitions on a Linux system. Unlike on Windows, there aren't separate roots for each disk like C or D drives. There's just one file system root at the top of the file system. This means that no matter what directory a file is in, you can unambiguously refer to that file by giving the full path, which starts at the root and lists each directory on the way down to the individual file. The directory names are separated by slashes. So for instance, here's a file called auth.log, which is inside a directory called log, which is inside a directory called var, which is inside the root directory. So to give the full path name, we start at the root, write slash var slash log slash auth.log. Now, if you're coming from Windows, be careful. Linux uses the / to separate directories, whereas Windows uses the backslash. The / is the same one that you see in URLs like https://udacity.com, or for writing fractions like 2/3, or in various other uses. So now it's your turn. For each one of these other files, fill in the full path name based on the directory structure and the file name itself.